Hello everyone, where you are. I hope you are doing very good. My name is Taizo Jean Baptiste and welcome back to our channel. Today's lesson is English. Today we are going to learn English. In English, we are going to learn about active and passive voice. Active and passive voice. So, in this lesson, we'll be talking about two main things. Number one, what are voices in English? What is active and passive voice and where are they used? Number two will be about the three golden rules of active and passive voice. So in this video, it will help you to understand better with different examples of active and passive voice, showing you how you can change from the active to the passive, and showing you different ways and which situation you may use active or in which you may use passive voice. So without wasting any time, let us get going and move to our lesson today. The first thing you are going to look at is what are voices. In English grammar, when you say voices, what do we mean by that? Let us look the meaning. Today's lesson is about active and passive voice. And as introduced in this lesson, we are going to start by looking at what are voices in English grammar. Normally this word voice, it is not the first time, but the voice may be different from the voices when we turn to English grammar. So first, we need to understand what are voices in English grammar, as we are going to talk about active and passive voice. In English grammar, voice is the way in which you choose to say something. It is the way in which you choose to say something. And you may choose to be more direct, clear, concise, and to the point. And this is your active voice. It means that in English, when you are going to say something in the way which is more direct, which is clear, which is concise, which is to the point without going around and around, that is your active voice. That is the first voice in English grammar. The second voice, you may also choose to be neutral. When you are neutral, it means you are not supporting either side. It means you are not on either side. You are neutral. You are in the middle, or being an observer who is standing on the side watching, and that is your passive. It means when you are using in the passive voice, that time you are not direct. It means you are neutral. People cannot know on which side you are. That is passive voice. That means that in English, voices, which is the way you choose to say something, you can either choose to say something by using active voice, or you can choose to be more neutral, and that is where you will use the passive voice. After looking at the meaning of voices in English, now we are going to look at the way you can use active and passive voice with examples that will help you understand it very well. Now, after looking at the meaning of voices in English, as we have seen, it is the way you can choose to say something. You can use active or you can use passive. Now we are going to go in detail to look at the difference with examples that will help us understand better the difference between the active and passive voice. Starting with active voice, we have said that it is more direct when you choose to say something in a more direct way, which is clear and to the point, and here you will use active voice. In active voice, the subject does the action. That means that the subject is the doer from the verb to do, is the doer of an action. In the active voice, the subject you have in the sentence is performing, is acting, is doing an activity they are describing in a given sentence. Let us use examples that will help you understand it very well. Starting with the example number 1, Tom plays football. Tom plays football. In this sentence, Tom is the subject, plays is the verb, and football is the object. Do you remember that in active voice, the subject does the action? Here in this sentence, Tom plays football. Tom, which is the subject, is playing, is doing the activity of playing football. That means in this sentence, Tom is the one who is doing the action they are describing in the verb. That means this is the active voice. Let us look at another example. Children watched a TV. Children watched a TV. In this sentence, children is the subject, watched is the verb, which is verb to watch in the past simple, and a TV is the object. Here the subject, which is the children, are doing the activity of watching a TV. That means the subject is doing the activity in this sentence. And that means that when the subject does the activity of the sentence, that time we are using the active voice because we are more direct and we know who is doing the activity they are describing in the sentence. Let us continue with the passive voice, where we have seen that in passive voice, it is the way of saying something which is more neutral. When you are neutral, you are on either side. It means you are neither on one side or on another side. You are not positive, you are not negative. It means you are in the middle. In the passive voice, we have seen that is the neutral, like someone standing on the side watching and thinking of reporting the event. It means you are standing on the side watching, observing something which is happening. You are a bystander. You are watching what is happening, and you are thinking of reporting that an activity to somebody else who may be in the journal, in the newspaper, or telling somebody else what happened because you saw it. In passive voice, the subject receives the action. That means it is opposite of active voice. We have seen that in active voice, the subject does the action, but here in the passive, the subject receives the action in the sentence. Let us look at these examples. Example number 1. Avocados were eaten by my sister. Avocados were eaten by my sister. In this passive voice sentence, avocados is the subject. And the verb here is to eat. And we know that avocados don't eat. They are eaten by my sister. It means avocados, they are receiving the action. They are being eaten by somebody else. It means avocado are not doing the activity. That is the passive voice. Example number 2. A story was read by our teacher. A story was read by our teacher. This means that the subject here is a story. The verb is to read, and we know that a story does not read. That means the subject is not doing the action of reading. It is receiving the action of reading because it is the teacher who reads a story. And with these clear examples, I hope that you can see the difference in passive. In active voice, we have seen that the subject does the action in the sentence, while in the passive voice, the subject receives the action in the sentence. I hope you understand it now. We have seen what are voices, what is active and passive voice, and I've seen different examples of active and passive voice. Guess what? Now it is time for the 3 golden rules. Do you remember the rules we have been saying in the introduction of this video? Now it is the time for those 3 golden rules, the 3 tips, the 3 tricks that can help you understand better and the way you can use active and passive voice. Then you can change from the active to the passive voice. Let us follow. Now we are going to look at the the three golden rules. The three golden rules of active and passive voice. Those are the three tricks, three ways, rules, tricks, or tips that can help you understand very well what the active voice and the passive voice, changing the sentences from active voice to the passive voice, or changing the sentences from the passive voice to the active voice. Let us start by looking at the rule number one. Rule number one is called X rule. It is called X rule. Now you are asking yourself, why is it called X rule, not another? There is the meaning of this X. By looking at this symbol of X, which is a crossed. Normally in the active voice, you know that you have a subject, you have a verb, and you have the object. That means in a active voice sentence has subject and the object, as well as a verb between. This X rule says that the subject of active voice sentence becomes the object of the passive voice sentence, and the object of active voice sentence becomes the subject of the passive voice sentence. This is where this symbol of X comes from, because they are exchanging the position. The subject is going in the position of the object, and the object is becoming the subject. The first one is in active, the second one is in the passive voice. So to understand this, let us use these examples, which will give you more explanations about this X rule. Here we have an example of an active voice sentence, which is Raul sells mangoes. Raul sells mangoes. In this sentence, Raul is the subject, sells is the verb, and mangoes is the object. When we go to the passive voice, we will say mangoes are sold by Raul. Mangoes are sold by Raul. Now we are going to look at the way that X rule works in this sentence. Here, Raul, which was the subject of active voice sentence, became the object of the passive voice sentence, and mangoes, which was the object of active voice sentence, became the subject of the passive sentence. When you see the way they exchange their position, they make this sign of X, hence the rule X, hence the name X rule. That is where X rule means. That means the subject becomes the object, and the object becomes the subject. Let us continue with the rule number 2. Rule number 2 is called helping verb. To help, that is to support or to assist. Normally, the helping verb used in passive voice is verb to be, which must be in the tense of a given verb in active voice sentence, and then after the past participle of main verb is added. It means the verb we use when you are changing from the active voice to the passive voice is a verb to be. That is the helping verb they are talking in this rule number 2. Helping verb here they are explaining is verb to be, which must be in the tense of the given verb. To understand this, let us use an example. Here we have an active voice sentence. Raul sells mangoes. Raul is the subject, sells is the verb, and mango is the object. In the passive voice, we will say mangoes are sold by Raul. Mangoes are sold by Raul. In this sentence, which is in passive are, that is verb to be, which is helping verb, is in present simple because the word sells is in present simple. Do you remember that you said that verb to be must be in the tense of a given verb? Then after we add the past participle of the main verb given. Let us look at an example number 2. Tourists will climb the mountain. Tourists will climb the mountain. In the passive voice, we will say, the mountain will be climbed by tourists. The mountain will be climbed by the tourist. This will be, which is verb to be in the future. We put this verb to be in the future because in active voice, verb to climb was in the future simple. That means verb to be must take the tense of verb to climb, and then we add the past participle of climb, which is climbed. That is the rule number 2, which is helping verb. Now, the rule number 3. We have seen that you have 3 golden rules. The rule number 3 is bystander. Bystander. Normally, bystander is a person standing somewhere looking at things which are happening. That is a bystander. In this word bystander, we have the word by. This rule is about the use of the word by before the object of the passive voice sentence. This means before you add the object in the passive voice, you need to use the word by. Look at the following examples that will help you understand this rule. Example number 1. The teacher is teaching students. This sentence is an active voice. The teacher is teaching students. In a passive voice, we will say that students are being taught by the teacher. Students are being taught by the teacher. That is the passive. You see the word by before the object of the passive voice sentence. This is used to introduce somebody who has done something. And example number 2. Chris has written a letter. Chris has written a letter. This is the active voice sentence. And in the passive voice, we will say, a letter has been written by Chris. A letter has been written by Chris. You need to see that this word by comes before the object of the passive voice. Hence, the rule number 3, which is called bystander. These are the 3 golden rules, the 3 tips, the 3 tricks that can help you understand very well the active and the passive voice, the way you can change from one to another, from active to the passive, from passive to the active. But note that not all passive voice sentences have this word by. In the next video, we'll come showing you the way a sentence may be in the passive without this word by. I will bring you another video which will give you more detail. Now, at the end of our lesson, we have an interesting quiz that will help you assess yourself the way you have understood the lesson. You may write your answers in the comment section, or you can take a notebook and write them down, and we shall come next looking at the answers you have written. Now, after learning about the active and passive voice, we have seen what are the voices, we have seen what is active, what is the passive, we have seen the 3 golden rules which can help you use the active and passive voice. Now it is the good time for testing the way you have understood the lesson, the way you have understood the active and passive voice. Now you need to test yourself so that I can know if you have understood it or if not, so that we can do more practice and help you understand it very well. Here in the quiz, in testing your understanding, we have 2 parts. Part 1, it is indicate whether each of the following sentences is in active or passive voice. It means the following sentences, you will say if it is active or if it is the passive. I hope you remember the active voice and the passive voice, what characterize active and what characterize the passive voice. The first sentence is, the teacher explains the lesson clearly. The teacher explains the lesson clearly. Is this sentence in active or passive? Let me help you with this first example. The teacher explains the lesson. This sentence is in active voice because the subject, which is the teacher, is the one who explains. It means who explains the lesson. It means the subject is doing the action in the sentence. The teacher explains. That means it is in active voice because the subject is doing the action. I hope you understand it very well. Now the rest are yours. The homework was completed by John. Is this active or passive? The song was sung by a choir. The song was sung by the choir. Is it active or passive? She will bake a cake tomorrow. She will bake a cake tomorrow. You know a cake. People can serve a cake whether in a wedding or in other parties. To bake, normally we don't say we cook. We don't cook a cake. We bake a cake. That is how we use bake when you are talking about the cakes. We don't cook cakes, we bake cakes. Number 5. The bridge was built in 1990. The bridge was built in 1990. Is this sentence in active and passive voice? Assess yourself. Part 2 of our test is now you rewrite the sentences in passive voice. It means the given sentences are in active voice. You are required, you are asked to rewrite them in the passive voice. Number 1, the tourism has boosted Rwandan economy. You change this sentence into the passive voice. Normally, to boost, that is to improve or to increase. That is, tourism have boosted, has improved, has increased the level of Rwandan economy. Now change this sentence in the passive voice. Number 2, my little sister wrote an interesting story. My little sister wrote an interesting story. You write this sentence in the passive voice. You can use your notebook. You can write in the comment of this video or another place that can help you assess yourself about the understanding of our lesson. Number 3, the police caught the thief. The police caught the thief. You change it in passive voice. The chef will cook the dinner. The chef will cook the dinner. Change this sentence in the passive voice. Normally the chef, that is a professional person who has learned about cooking. That is a chef, a professional cook. That is a chef. Number 5, the students are reading the book. The students are reading the book. Now rewrite this sentence in passive voice. Now, thank you for learning with us on this channel. I hope that this lesson was interesting to you. If it was interesting, you like it, you share, and you subscribe to our channel so that the next time we upload any video, you will be there with us in our community. Thank you very much for attending my class. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you find it interesting and important, subscribe to my channel so that we can be together next time. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll be informed every time when we upload a new video. Don't forget to share to your friends so that they can learn together with us as it helps us to grow and improve better. Thank you so much.